Audio check 1 2. Audio check 1 2 3. 3 2 1. Hey guys, AJ Town here, live with the T Storm Chasers, ready to break down this monstrous storm that's going to be moving through the area over the course of the next 24 to 36 hours is what we are going to really start diving into and looking at the system and how well it's going to impact the area. There is a travel concern that is coming up as this does continue to show its strength through the area. We are talking miles of difference as far as how large this storm system is going to be. We are looking at literally this could shift further northward a couple miles and bring a substantial amount of snow. Could shift a little further southward as of yet and bring us less of a snow system. So definitely going to be a snowstorm system that we are going to want to watch closely. As this starts to really impact the area, we do expect to see things ramp up through the day. So what we are going to be seeing is things will slowly, gradually increase as we go into the evening hours. And that's when we're going to see the grunt of the system push through is going to be in the later evening hours. We're not going to see it through the morning commute. We're going to see maybe about an inch of snow, not much of an accumulation. So that is the good news as that does start to really impact the area. Now, many of you are like, dude, what's going on? Let's dive in and start looking at the storm system. And as we are going to start, we're actually going to back the storm system up and watch it come across the Rockies. As it does come across those Rockies, that's where it really starts to gain strength as it does move across those Rockies. So as we do watch this model here now, this is 00 Zulu, so that's about 6 p.m. tonight. We start to really see the evidence of this storm system ramping up across those Rockies as we do continue to watch it. Stephanie, thank you for those 50 stars. Greatly appreciate it, guys. You guys can continue to support us with those stars. As it moves across the Rockies, on the back side of those Rockies or on the front side, depends on how you want to look at it, of those Rockies is where we start to see the system really start to gain strength. As it moves into the Nebraska area there, Nebraska-Colorado border there, we are watching the system really start to give that strength indication. As it goes into Nebraska, therefore, now at 12 Zulu, so we are now watching about that 6 a.m. time frame is what we are seeing. We are seeing that it is starting to move into the South Dakota area, only the southwestern portions of South Dakota. As we go into the next 30-hour mark, so 18 Zulu, so that's going to be about noon, we start to see things start to really impact the I-90 corridor. We do see also that it is moving north of the I-80 corridor, so that is really being impacted as well. So basically, the storm is set up between the I-80 and the I-90 corridor for the heaviest system of this. That'll continue to progress its way eastward. Now, as we go into 00 Zulu, so about 6 p.m. is when we really start to see things start to ramp up. So between that 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. is when we really start to see the system start to show up. Don't worry, folks. We got you covered hour by hour. Just give me a few minutes to get through this model, and I will show you hour by hour when we are expecting, what we are expecting, and how it's going to impact your travels. So as we do move into the next set of 6-hour increment there, we do start to see that system sliding a little further northward, bringing our snow totals a little heavier. But here is one thing I want to show. Let me zoom in here. So as we zoom in, look at FSD. FSD is going to be Sioux Falls. For those of you that don't know, FSD is going to be Sioux Falls. Watch that. 19 miles. If we go further west or eastward, 20 miles. So we're looking at just a little bit of a shift northward. It's going to really increase those snow totals come into the overnight hours. So unfortunately, folks, as you wake up in the morning on Thursday morning, be prepared for this system to really be dumping in the area. Be prepared to have to dig out and be prepared for a slow commute to work. Now, here's the other stuff. If we shift this, take a look at this. We are looking at literally a 10-mile shift further south to decrease our snow totals. So that's why I did mention before that it is going to be a mile system storm. So that means a mile system storm, it's literally going to take couple miles to the north to see totals increase, or a couple miles to the south for snow totals to decrease. As we go now into the next 6 hours, so 12 Zulu, we start to see things wrap up here, start to die down, come into the morning time frame. Now, if you watch one of our previous weather discussions, we do discuss the storm system as it's coming through. Bad thing is we have not really seen things change except for a little further of a northward shift. By 18 Zulu, this system is going to progress eastward. Now, Zulu time is going to be -6, so 18 -6. By your lunch hour, we do expect to see things out of there. But for your commute, we do expect to see things, a little bit of a snow system pushing through. Now, what are we talking about snow totals, and what are we looking at for that? As we start to see this system ramp up here about that noon time, we do have a little bit of dusting in South Dakota. Now, as we come into the 18 Zulu, so about your lunchtime on Wednesday, we start to see I-90 really starting to be impacted with about 1 inch to maybe 2 inches of snow. Now, as we go into Thursday at 00 Zulu, so about your 6 p.m. time frame is when we start to see that snowfall really starting to come in. Between a trace to 1 inch of snow for that commute home is what we are looking at. Now, as we go into Thursday from 00 Zulu to 6 Zulu, so from 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. is when we really start to see things ramp up here. As we go into that and look at, let me get that set back here. So as we go back into that next 6-hour time frame is when we really see the snow totals really ramp up here. So 00 Zulu, we're looking at maybe 1 inch of snow on the ground, so 6 p.m. Then as we go into 06 Zulu, we're looking at right about that 3 to 5 inch mark. And then as we go into 12 Zulu, so your commute to work, about that 6 a.m., so between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. is when we really start to see this grunt of the system really push through this area. We're looking at about that 5 to 8 inch mark for the Sioux Falls area. Further south is going to see the heavier snow totals. Further in Nebraska is also going to see those larger snow totals, where some areas could receive up to 2 feet of snow with this as it pushes through. Do expect, if you have to travel I-80, do expect that to be closed coming Thursday. Wednesday into Thursday is what we expect to see I-80 closed. I-90, it's kind of iffy. Depends on these winds that we're going to be watching with this as well. So if we are going to watch the winds here come into play with this, we're going to see the winds right about 00 Zulu has The Sioux Falls area showing, so about 6 p.m. on Wednesday night, we show right about that 25 miles an hour sustained winds. Now, these are not wind gusts or anything, so that's going to be your sustained winds. As we go into the next 6-hour increment there, we're looking at winds between 20 to 25 miles an hour sustained. Now, that means a continuous 20 to 25 miles an hour. That's not wind gust. So blowing snow is going to be a huge concern, especially in this area here. You can see with our little red drawing there. So I do expect to see, so this is the river, definitely I-90 west or east of the river is definitely probably going to be closed come into Thursday. Would not surprise me if we don't see that closed, but we'll keep an eye on that and definitely bring you the information on that. Don't want to confirm or tell you guys that that is the case. Then as we go into 12 Zulu for your commute, so about 6 a.m., we do see the winds are sticking around about 15, 20 miles an hour. And then we do definitely see those winds stick around through the day, finally moving out of the area and dying down Thursday into Friday. So winds are going to be a concern with this as well. We're going to look at wind gust here real quick. Let me get that pulled up with the latest on the European model. Now, we do favoritize the European model because it has been pretty consistent with us. So as we go into now Thursday evening or Wednesday evening and about your commute home there, we're looking at wind gusts upwards to 40 miles an hour with this as it does push through the area for the Sioux Falls area. I-29 corridor 2 is something we're going to have to watch pretty closely here. So Wednesday into Thursday would not surprise us to see I-29 and I-90 closed, especially east of the river. So that is definitely something we are keeping a close eye on. Yes, I know I-29 is east of the river. Yes, I know that. Okay. But anyways, technically too, down in Iowa, it does run along, but it is still east of there. See how many of you got that joke. Anyways, so we do continue to watch the wind gust come through the day on Thursday too, where we're going to see 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gust with the snowstorm as it pushes through. So we're going to have blowing snow and drifting snow is going to be also a concern. Add that to the snow that is already on the ground. We're going to be looking at some ground blizzard-like conditions for western portion or eastern portions of South Dakota. So we are definitely watching this monster of a system that is going to move through, bring us our winds, bring us another 6 inches, right around 5 to 8 inches of snow on top of it. This is not a moisture-starved snow either. So I just actually got an alert from the National Weather Service, a winter storm warning for southeast South Dakota. Let me see. Literally just came across the wire. So give me just a minute here to bring that up. Joys of doing a live shot here. Give me just a minute. I need to bring that up here. Winter storm warning. Give me just a minute here. I am bringing that up. I certainly do apologize here. Okay, a winter storm warning was just issued by the National Weather Service. Looks like that goes into effect. Give me just a second to get that pulled up. Goes into effect on noon on Wednesday until 6 a.m. on Tuesday. They're also saying that 5 to 8 inches of snow. Travel is going to be difficult. Areas of blowing snow, which we have discussed as well. Now, this is put out by the National Weather Service. This is not put out by us. So we are seeing that as well. Joys of doing a live shot here, folks. We are working with what we got as far as that is concerned. Oh, let me switch this over. There you go. You can see areas, again, south of I-90 is where our concern is, and the southeast portions of South Dakota is where our greatest concern for this winter storm warning that was just issued. We are going to be seeing substantial snowfall. We are going to see wind gusts upwards to 40 miles an hour. Sustained winds upwards to 30 miles an hour is what we are going to be seeing with this snowstorm. So 5 to 8 inches with it, plus the blowing snow and drifting snow. We are going to be seeing another repeat of the snowstorm with this as well. So we are looking at a substantial snow system with this, another 5 to 8 inches. This is going to be a moisture-filled snow. So this is going to be your wet, heavy snow as well as we do start to watch that. So again, a winter storm warning was just issued live here as we are live. You can see the, hold on, I got to bring up my, you can see right there, this is our date of live as of. It's a feature that we added, so you guys that watch us later definitely know what time and date you are working with, because we have ran into the issue of where people have asked us later, hey, I thought this was a couple days ago, not today. So definitely want to keep an eye on that. I froze there for a second. Sorry. So again, as we are looking, a winter storm warning was just issued for this area in purple till 6 a.m. on Thursday, which is consistent with that European model that we were showing as far as timing. Your commute to work on Thursday is going to be a messy commute. If you're possible to work from home, definitely plan on working from home. Let me get this out of here, and we're going to do our hour-by-hour forecast. Give me just a second here. All right. So as that is pulling up, we will take a quick look at our GFS models. Now, the GFS models, I am not liking these because it is keeping the snowstorm further to the south. The GFS is keeping it further to the south. So the further to the north, though, is what I am thinking. That 6.1 inches is actually more likely what we're going to see in the Sioux Falls area with this GFS model. So I'm favoritizing the European model. So this is the GFS model. Now we're going to look at FSD here. FSD, this is put out by the Sioux Falls National Weather Service. This is not something that we did. This is not our map, so definitely keep that in mind. So they are saying between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. as well, seeing that heaviest snow band pushing through. 6 to midnight is going to be when we're going to definitely see that strongest portion. Wind gust, they're saying up to 30. However, the European model is saying a little higher on that. The system has shifted just a little further north, so definitely something to watch fairly closely. Now, these weather advisories are out of date because of that winter weather that was just issued, so we are not going to post those. This was updated as of yesterday. They are also advising right here, hazardous travel is expected. If you do need to be out, definitely take your time, as we are going to see this blowing snow, drifting snow, and road conditions is going to be a huge concern as we start to go out with that. Now, let me switch back here to our latest model here. All right, so we're going to do hour by hour. Let me zoom out just a little bit here. So when is a snow system going to start moving through? So not sure. Let me take a look at my screen here. All right, you can see this is 1 p.m. Now this is 1 p.m. on the 17th. So as we start to make the snow system, we can start seeing it come across the Nebraska-Colorado border there. We can see it really start to impacting the I-80 corridor. About that 3 o'clock in the morning is what we are seeing with that. Then as we continue to put the model into play there, that is continuing to push its way northeastward. And right about 5 a.m., 6 o'clock in the morning there, we really start to see it move into extreme southern South Dakota. Then as we do put the model in play here, we are watching down southward there as it does continue to progress its way northward. So about 11:30 is what we are seeing at 281 moving into the I-90 corridor there. And then as we come into about 12:30, moving into about the Mitchell 281 corridor there. About 1:30, moving into the Yankton area, Highway 81 corridor. And then as we go into the 2:30 time frame, it starts to move into Highway 18 corridor. And then about that 3:30 is when we expect to, between 3:30 and 4 is when we really expect to see it move in to the Sioux Falls area on Wednesday. Now, as we do continue to see these heavier bands down by the Omaha area, and then we do see right through here this white line that is turning over to blue. That doesn't mean ice, that is snow. So we do see that it is really impacting the I-29 corridor. And as we do look at that, that really starts to impact the I-29 corridor about 11:30 south of Sioux City there. Moving through the Sioux City area about 1:30 is when it'll start impacting that. And then that'll continue to progress its way northeastward. As that does continue to progress its way northeastward, we do see there about that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock is when we start to see those heavier bands push a little further northward. About 7 o'clock is when the heaviest bands are. But look, it is still really affecting the I-29 corridor. So definitely take that in mind. If you have to head south of Brookings, travel at night is not going to be suggested. Would not surprise us again to see I-29 at least closed south of Sioux Falls Wednesday into Thursday. We'll have to watch that fairly close there. Now about midnight there, it finally starts to weaken, and then by about 4:30, 5 o'clock is when it finally starts to taper off and moves out of the area. Now, what are they saying for snow totals? Let's take a quick look at that. So we are going to do hour by hour here. So give me just a second to get that loaded. As we do get that loaded, let's jump back and take a quick look at your precipitation outlook for the end of January. Now we're going to be that near normal for the Sioux Falls or South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska, and Minnesota area for the remaining portion of the month there towards the end of the month. Now, this is put out by the National Weather Service out of Norman, Oklahoma. This is not something that we created or did. As we look at the temperatures, unfortunately, folks, we're not going to see any warm temps push across the area. We're going to see below average for this time of year coming into the end of January. So we're not going to melt much of this snow that is starting to fall. I'm starting to wonder where I'm going to put this snow. So, as we look back at our WSV3 now, this should be loaded. Let's take a quick look at that here as far as snow totals and what we are looking. We can see it's really starting to impact the I-80 corridor there through the overnight tonight into tomorrow. And then as we start to see it continue to progress its way northeastward, Highway 18 by 10:30 will have some snow on the ground as well there in south central portions of South Dakota. That'll really impact North Platte, just to the north of North Platte. 13 inches of snow by the North Platte. Now, this is by 12:30 is what we are seeing with that. So, as we do put this map into motion, continue there. By about 5 o'clock, we are starting to see it really progress into the Sioux Falls area. About 1/10 of an inch of snow for the Sioux Falls area. Sioux City area, we're looking at... Why is my mouse not changing? My system froze up here. There we go. So as we do take the look there, about that 6 o'clock time frame when people are heading home, Sioux City about 3 inches of snow. But look at this. The HRR is even saying almost 2 feet of snow for south central or for central portions of Nebraska. So they are really getting the grunt of this storm again. So as we put the map into motion here, now about 8 o'clock, remember, we're looking at about 1.6 inches of snow. Sioux City is looking at right about I lost my audio. All right, you back? We're back. Test, test. Takes about 30 seconds for me to catch back up. I certainly do apologize there. Perfect. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Remington. All right, 7 inches of snow is what this model is saying for Sioux Falls area. Sioux City, right about that foot mark. Mitchell, about 3 inches. Brookings, about 3. Watertown, under an inch. Redfield, under an inch. Huron, under an inch. And then Winter, right about that 10 inch. Look further down south. 2 feet of snow almost by North Platte. So this is really a moisture-filled system. Now I'm back in my ear, so now I can hear you guys as well. Omaha is looking about 6.4 inches. So this is over the course of the next 48 hours is what we did this model run as. Worthington, about 6.2. You can see right along the I-90 corridor there is going to be about that 6-inch mark. And I just locked up my system. Yep, I just locked up my system, so stay with me on that one. So, again, we are looking at a substantial snow system with this. It's not going to take much of a push northward to change those snow totals, and it's not going to take much of a push southward to change these. So, we are looking at a substantial snowfall with this. About 5 to 8 inches is what we are seeing. We're going to see some winds with this as well, and we are going to definitely see some blowing snow. Vermilion, Yankton area, we're looking at right about that 10-inch mark with that between 10 to 12 inches of snow with this as well. So further south we go, the snow totals are going to be higher. The further north we go, the snow totals are going to be less. I-29, I would say be prepared, have a plan in place, because would not surprise me to see I-29 close south of Sioux Falls and I-90 east of the river, with blowing and drifting snow going to be an issue. Both north and both of the roads there as well. So we are looking again at another substantial snow system with this as well. Stay tuned with T-Storm Chasers. We'll have another update later tonight. And yep, last time you said that we got 13.5 inches. Yeah, that's about right. If you go back and watch my live stream, I think I was close to what we were supposed to get. So just I hate to be this person to bring you guys bad news, but we'll continue to watch this and monitor it. We'll be back later tonight with another live update. I'm going to shoot for about 9 o'clock, 9:30. So I want to thank everybody that has continued to support T-Storm Chasers, does continue to support T-Storm Chasers, and will continue to support us. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll have another model update later tonight.